Nithyanandam, and welcome everyone. Yet another day as we celebrate the 45th Chaturmasya of our beloved Swamiji. Every day we have been listening to Swamiji's satsangs and receiving powerful cognitions every day, celebrating, enjoying different dimensions of Swamiji as devotees from around the world join to share their wonderful experiences that they have experienced by meeting Swamiji. Today, we have Manitya Shakti Rupananda from Kailasa, Houston, also a founding mother of Kailasa and House of Representative Kailasa, Houston. She is joining today to share her experiences as a youth, how Swamiji has inspired her and pulled away from the Maya matrix and inspired her to be having a life clarity and purpose. Nithyanandam, Shakti Rupananda, we're so glad to have you here. Nithyanandam, could you introduce yourself? How did your journey begin? How did you meet Swamiji at a very young age, and how has it changed your life?
Nithyanandamma, it's really nice to be on this show. My journey with Swamiji began when I was 14 years of age. Actually, at that time, I was just entering the high school and I was going into the ninth grade. And I had also just moved to the US. So there were a lot of new things happening in my life. But the most amazing thing that happened, new thing that happened, was, meeting Swamiji. So actually, what had happened is my dad has always been a very spiritual person, and he he had invited me to come to Swamiji's program. Swamiji was in Houston, and I still remember when he invited me for the first time and said, "Hey, there is this Swami, and he's coming to Houston, and he's take a week off from your school." And I was thinking, is he nuts? Like something's wrong with him. Like, who takes a break from one school like that? So I said, no, I don't think I can do that. And he happily went to that program. And but just a month after that, he invited me to come to Swamiji's satsang. There was a weekly satsang happening in Houston, and he took me there. And I still remember when first time I had entered that place, and I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like I came home. And I just felt so happy there for no reason. During that time, they had played some video of Swamiji, and um, I that time also I didn't really understand too much what was going on. And I just remember I recognized Swamiji's very thick Indian accent. And after that, we were doing the Nitya Dhyan. They were just guiding us through the process, which is a meditation. Um, and by the just few minutes into that meditation, I was just feeling so happy within myself. It's not that I had not felt happy before, but that time I just felt like a depth of bliss in me. And I had never felt like that before in my life. So after that, I was like, wow, like, what is this, And there was the aarti that happened that day, like how they usually do it. And um, all the people who are in that satsang that day, in my cognition, they were all, you can call them old people. They were all twice or thrice my age. So, I was in a way out of place, you can call it, or what I cognize. But it didn't matter because I don't know what it was, but something there was just so special. And I felt like I wanted to come again. So that was kind of the first time I came and met Swamiji. So yes, ma'am.
Seema, see, typically kids, teenagers, when they think about Hinduism, when they think about or even ever heard about satsang, going to meet a Swami, all of these they would have ideas, right? That's probably why you did not want to take off time from school the first week. And since then, after meeting Swamiji, how did Swamiji's satsangs just get literally, encapsulated you? It just encompassed you. How did that happen? Something was there, but beyond that, was there anything after that you have become a very core part of Kailasa Houston, taking responsibility, being a responsible youth, right? From being not knowing Hinduism, except whatever we know is just doing puja at home, and that's pretty much our once in a week go to temple. But Swamiji has literally changed that whole cognition, right? So, what was your idea of Hinduism before meeting Swamiji, and how did it evolve, change when you met Swamiji? And what about the satsangs? How did it change your cognition?
So actually, what had happened was I just felt so happy at that time when I went to that satsang for the first time. And I was like, I felt like, why doesn't everybody know about this? I kind of felt like I found some treasure and nobody knows about it, right? Or nobody has been introduced to it properly. Like my whole life, my parents have always tried to teach me all the Hindu culture, right? Like they will tell me to wear the tilak, right? They will tell me to light the lamp in the house every day at in the evening at 6 p.m. exactly. All the lamp has to be lit. So they will tell me if you go to the temple, you have to pray to the deity. They will tell so many things, but for me at that time, I had so many questions like why we have to do like that. And I had too many questions and nobody was able to explain to me why exactly this is happening. Even for them, when I asked that question, they could not answer it because they were thinking, even I don't know. This girl is too many asking too many questions, just go and do it, right? Like our ancestors have said it, and we don't question our parents, and you're being disrespectful by asking all these questions. You have to do it because that's what you are, right? Which to me, I couldn't really click with that. But what happened with Swamiji is every single thing when Swamiji entered my life from then on, it's like he gave me powerful cognitions and deeper understanding of why we do everything and the context with which you should enter everything in the life. So, kind of, I'll fast forward a little bit. After that, I still remember I went to my first inner awakening program and I met Swamiji in person in July of 2021. And that time too, I was now kind of interested in doing all this meditation, connecting with Swamiji satsangs, listening to his discourses, and a lot of these things. But still, the ritual aspect, I kind of didn't really get it. To me, it just seemed like it was so long, kind of boring. I couldn't click with it. And my parents will tell me just ask for good grades when you're there, ask them, I'll ask all the good things like that. And I couldn't click with it. And I remember in the first inner awakening, during one of the breaks, me and my family, we were taking a walk, and we walked to the the temple, right, in the Adinam. And when we were walking there, we saw Swamiji also kind of walking there. And it was so beautiful to witness that scene where Swamiji was just talking to, the people around him, like chit-chatting and all that. But the moment he will come in front of, the Paramashiva and Devi, he will just kind of stop everything and he will just kind of gaze at them. And when he gazes at them, it is almost like he is just in love with them and he is just enjoying them and nothing else matters. And when I saw that, it was such a beautiful scene to be seen. And he would kind of gaze like that, I don't know how long, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, he will just do that, right? Then after that, he will resume his walk. Then after a few minutes, he'll come back and do the same kind of thing, you know. He didn't really like tell anything or explain anything here, right? I was literally just witnessing this. But to me, I suddenly got a click. I don't need a reason for this, right? There doesn't need to be a reason for you to connect with God. The only reason is because, I mean, you are just enjoying it, right? You are just in ecstasy. What more could there be, you know? And the way he was relating it, I had a cognition. I wanted to taste that, and I want to experience what Swamiji is experiencing, or what he's even like, what that is, you know? So he had made me want to become a practicing Hindu and experience this whole thing without even uttering a word, just by radiating, you know, that. And I just was so enamored by the whole thing. And that was the first time I really felt like I received like a answer to my questions, and I didn't need to ask any more questions, you know. I felt fulfilled just witnessing that. So after that, fast forward little more, right? And I remember, you know, in Kailasa, Houston, we were making this temple happen, right? Or all the people here really wanted a temple. And you know, I kind of wanted a temple too, but the only reason I was thinking is, oh, you know, it's nice, Swamiji will be there radiating in that temple, it will be great. But the whole ritual part, I still didn't really get it, you know. Uh, but I don't know how to explain it. The moment temple opened, I still remember we had a very elaborate rituals in the temple. Swamiji wanted us to literally do everything as per the agamas, and there were eight Shivacharyas who came in and conducted all the you know, agama pradishtas, and Swamiji gave the prana pradishta of the temple, and it was going on the whole day, every day. But every moment of it felt so alive. It was almost like a new dimension or portal got opened to me. And suddenly it's like, you know, you don't understand some language. Like sometimes when we don't understand somebody speaking French or whatever, we are kind of like, after a few minutes, we get bored and we are like, okay, I don't know what they're saying, right? But like when the whole thing happened, it's almost like, imagine suddenly the the AI translate worked and you suddenly understood the whole thing, right? Like the download happened in your brain. That's kind of how it felt. Suddenly the whole dimension opened up and it felt so alive. And I was like, oh my God, you know, like these deities are not just stone, they are literally alive. They are like gods and goddesses, and they are beings who are literally right next to me. You know, every day I can come to the temple and see Ganesha, I can see Swamiji, I can see Muruga, and they are not just a stone, they're like my friends. You know, every day I can talk to them. And how cool can is it that we can relate with them and they can be our teamly, because so much of the time we live with so-called human beings, and each person has such a like a limited understanding of the life or patterns, so we capture that and make that our cognition, you know. But through this, what Hinduism or Swamiji is really wanting us to radiate is, hey, you are literally, your higher identity is Paramashiva. So every time you talk to them, you are remembering I am them too, you know? So even unconsciously, without even realizing, I am starting to like like become like them, you know, or radiate something, and I didn't even realize that is happening. So I can just say that that whole journey has been so beautiful. It's almost like drinking a nectar, right? Which you cannot really explain how it tastes. You have to drink it, then only you will know what it is, you know. So to me, that's what I felt Swamiji is doing. He's like, you guys don't know the Hinduism and the joy of living the Hinduism. It gives so much of that bliss and fulfillment in the life. It adds to every dimension of the life. So he's telling the only way you can really know it, you have to taste it. You have to drink the nectar, So for me as a youth, kind of a long answer to your question is I kind of feel why I am involving in the temple, why I am with Swamiji, or why I decide to kind of not just participate but also be responsible about it is because I feel like how can somebody taste something and keep it all to themselves, you have it's only like, let's say you have secretly got a chocolate. You can eat it, but it's more fun when you have friends enjoying it with you, then you really it takes it to the next level, right? So like I feel like I want everybody, all my friends or all the people I know in my life or the people, the next generation people, to know about this, because I myself felt like I didn't get a right introduction about this beautiful, all of this beautiful things till Swamiji came. And it's too good to be true, and nobody should miss it, right? So, um, that is my
Nice.
experience in little bit nutshell, ma.
Long story short, so beautifully put, Ma. See, one question I have is, say, unfortunately, good or bad, for whatever reason, the Indian kids born, brought up in the US, or, we call as a ABCD, American born confused daisies, and you grown up as a teenager, especially in the US, you would have seen your friends, what is their lifestyle, what they likes, what they don't like, what they think is cool, where they hang out, and so on, right? Seeing that, and I'm sure continuously you're seeing even today how your friends' life has, moved on and how where they are today. Given that, and where your life, how you have flowered to be a responsible youth, and what great treasure, as you said, Hinduism has to offer, and how beautifully Swamiji has put in a way where we can understand, right? Where each and every one of us, in our own language, in a way we can appreciate it, understand it. Swamiji has, whether you're youth, whether you're old, whether you're young, it doesn't matter. In whichever way that we would understand it, grasp it, and appreciate it, Swamiji has given that greatest gift. Even recently, I think just about a few months back, few weeks back, Swamiji had given a message for the Indian youth that you are the inheritor of the greatest richness. When Swamiji was talking about Hinduism, that that is yours, it's all yours to celebrate and enjoy. So like that, Swamiji has given that treasure for you. My question is, seeing what has, how the kids that have grown up in the US have become, whereas how Swamiji has transformed your life, how, as a witness, as you're growing up, as you're seeing all of that, how Swamiji, has transformed not only for your life, like what a great gift Swamiji is for you. What is your experience or understanding about that?
Mm, what I can share is this, ma, because I feel like a lot of things, like sometimes on the outside it looks so pretty, right? But then when you really dive into that, it's not as pretty as it really looks. And I kind of feel like,
The life in the, sorry, I'm
yes.
sorry to interrupt. So can you just expand which the life in the US, or what if you can just clarify on that?
Okay. So what I was saying is, I feel like right now there are sometimes so many lifestyles or life decisions that kind of it seems to be very flashy or looks really great from the outside. But then when you really engage in that, it is not as glamorous as it looks. So I feel like for like people like me growing up, it's kind of introduced to us that doing all these things is so cool, and if you do it, you will experience all these bliss and happiness and all these amazing things in the life. That's kind of how it seems to be portrayed. But I feel like I experience that a lot of those things once you get into it, it really has no taste. It's like eating a fruit, and maybe it looks pretty on the outside. They sprayed some nice pesticides, so it looks like shiny. But then when you really have a bite, you're like, I don't know how I can eat one more bite. I want to throw this one out and into the trash, this one itself, right? And then the aftertaste is also really unpleasant, so you need to wash the mouth with something else, right? So that's kind of how it feels like for me. But with the Hinduism, I feel like it has so much of a depth, all our like enlightened living. And every time you practice it, it really makes you feel a depth of like fulfillment and happiness. Like later, like later in the day or in the month or even a few years later, like you just reflect on it, you feel like, wow, like that felt really good, and you don't have a, how do I say, like how sometimes we take a medicine and there will be a side effect, right? Like, oh yeah, it solves this problem, but there was a side effect kind of thing. So it kind of, what I'm trying to say is, right now so many of the lifestyles that the current youth are like kind of getting attracted to, right? Like they are doing it, but somewhere what they really were seeking, they didn't get it. So they kind of feel like, okay, like what's the point kind of thing, right? But with a lot of the things like the Hinduism and the enlightened spiritual lifestyle that we live, every moment of that just adds so much of depth in us. And that's really the ultimate fulfillment, which is what is the youth going on, like what's going on with youth now, right? A lot of the youth, they get everything in the life by their 20s. They have achieved everything, right? It can be sometimes they are so smart, they have a startup, or maybe they earn all this money all of a sudden, right? And they have all the so-called luxuries in the life, or maybe all the friends in the life, but still somewhere you feel like what's missing, like why am I still not happy, you know and I feel like when you come to Swamiji or Hinduism, suddenly whatever you have been truly seeking, like your soul is yearning for, suddenly feels like you really like something happened which is giving justice to what you're really yearning for. So I feel like that's my experience as a youth, which I kind of feel like not just me but many youth go through. So that's what I can share, Ma.
Oh, nice one. Actually, one thing that you said really caught my attention is that you said how cool it is. My friends, the deities are my friends. I mean, like, it is really amazing, right? What youth today in the outside world feel what is cool, right? Going to the movies or hanging out or, having boyfriends, girlfriends, when they find that is cool. Swamiji has just gifted us, right? Where you feel like, oh, deities are my friends. How cool is it? And you're like so blissful, right? What do you have to share? Like, if you feel like this one thing, absolutely something that Swamiji has given and it just shifted my life. I am so glad, at a very young age, especially to my teenagers, especially during my youth, I met Swamiji, and this is the greatest gift, the greatest powerful cognition that Swamiji has given. What would that be?
I mean, the only thing I can say is the greatest gift is number one, Swamiji himself, right? And and of course, like I think this temple itself is a gift. He allows us to play with all of this, and in turn, like manifest all these powerful cognitions, right? And to me, the greatest powerful cognition is having the experience of the blissful powerfulness. Um, and when you are in that space, um, whatever you do is a success, and you are blissful, and everybody around you, it's like a contagious thing. They start radiating that too, and it's like a like a ripple effect. So when I am, for example, I'm in the temple, and again, like there will be days you are like really happy. There will be days you're like kind of cranky person. Nobody wants to even be around you kind of thing. So all of us go through those moments. But when I let's say I'm on a cranky day and I come and I'm in front of Paramashiva and I'm like, hey, I am doing puja to you, but I'm really cranky today. Other than you, nobody really wants to be around me. But by the end of the puja, his presence is so contagious. He's like, hey, like you get that whiff of his bliss. You yourself are like, okay, I can't really hold this act anymore of being cranky, so let me stop this kind of act. And you start kind of being like excited. And then again, when I go into my life and do all the things, people are like, oh my god, this girl is always like blissful. Like, is she? And some people ask me, like, are you on drugs or something? And I'm like, no. Right? But again, it's like I don't need any substance. I am naturally blissful because um the deities, they radiate so much. Even with Swamiji, just sitting with him, he radiates so much of bliss. You just kind of internalize it even whether you realize it or not. And I think that's the greatest thing. Number one, I feel like, Swamiji says, right? He is here to show not he is God, but we are God. So every day when I'm with the deities, I kind of feel like whether I think I'm like great enough in my life or whatever, some whiff is getting into me and I am radiating the God in me, and that's a beautiful thing to experience. And the bliss of it, the purity of it, and every dimension of my life, I can see that in the interactions of my life, where even if people don't know Swamiji, like that purity radiates in the conversations. Every single person I talk to, I feel so fulfilled to talk to them, and they feel so fulfilled to talk to me. It brings so much of completion, and then at the end of the day, I go to sleep and I just feel so blissful about it and so complete about it that no amount of money can give you that. So I can just say that I don't know if I fully answered your question of what exactly is the powerful cognition. All I can say is the greatest thing he has given is me radiating and experiencing that and experiencing him himself, which I don't know what can be greater than that. So, yes, Ma.
Nice. Okay. Before we actually go into satsang, I have one more question. You said you went to Inner Awakening, you saw Swamiji and the temple, but you missed one important thing. What was the first darshan like? What was your first moment when you first saw Swamiji? How was the darshan?
Um, actually, the first time I went to Inner Awakening, um, those days, Swamiji, he will give darshan more like a one-on-one. So, it will be like like everybody will stand in a line, they'll put some nice music, and then Swamiji we will go to Swamiji, and then he will give the blessings, and then the next person will come and all that, right? So I just remember I was like in the line, I was standing there and I was like really, really scared and nervous. And I was like, oh God, I don't know what to tell him. I don't know what to say. What is Swamiji going to say? And like, I like all the life fear and nervousness, everything put into one was what I was going through, right? And many people even tell us this, right? Like, literally in the energy darshan, you will forget everything. If you want to tell Swamiji, you better write it in the paper, right? Because by the time you are in front of him, you'll go blank. So all that I remember is like he will just go be blissful. Right? And I will just feel like I'm in a bliss and ecstasy. So like that is what I remember as my first experiences, where he just, and now that you're telling it, I also remember this, which is that time, my first very darshan where I wanted to go and talk to Swamiji or, go individually. Uh, my dad told me, hey, ask for the enlightenment. That is the ultimate thing. You have to ask for that. And I wanted to ask for it, but then I looked at myself and I'm like, I could ask for it, but I don't even know what that means. So how can I'm not authentic. How can I ask something I don't even understand it? That's not true to what I really want. So I looked at it and I'm like, I just want to be blissful or I just want to be happy. So I think that's what I asked Swamiji, and Swamiji gave a tatastu. So I was like really, really happy. Oh, that is my experience.
So beautiful, Ma. Wonderful for sharing. We have few more questions for you to know from your experiences as to what you thought of life before meeting Swamiji and how life appears to you now. Before that, let us now listen to Swamiji as to what is the vision that Swamiji has for you.
After the Bhagavad Gita sung today, to have the Explosion 2012 volunteers meet. I tell you, even if you are a Bill Gates, whatever you have is obtained by chance. Whether you are in the Dharavi slum or Anil Ambani's house, whatever is obtained is by chance. So whatever is obtained by chance, he who feels enough, when you are having 1 crore, whatever is obtained is by chance. When you are having 1 lakh crore, whatever is obtained is by chance. Money is the worst illogical thing all logical human beings believe. The greatest superstition on the planet Earth is not God, it is money. It is the worst collective superstition. I tell you, in the Matrix movie, if the artificial intelligence is the mind, the tub in which all the human beings are made to sleep is money. Money is the greatest Paramamaya. Paramamaya means collective delusion. All of us have put ourselves knowingly thinking there is a purpose to create this mechanism, so let us have it. Then suddenly, after 2 generations, the fellows who are created, even their own kith and kin are caught in that delusion. The fellows who created, they thought, no, we are out of this delusion. But after 3 generations, everybody is in, including the creators' kith and kin. It's like a man who creates a system. He thinks, I am above the law, I'll keep myself. I'll create a law such a way that I am always above. Let all other people, everybody else, be under the law. Suddenly, after 2 generations, he is gone. His kith and kin are also caught in the law. So the whole world now is caught in an unconscious understanding which they don't know why they are in. This is what I call Paramamaya. Currency is the worst Paramamaya created by human beings. So whatever you have is by chance. Why should somebody be called as millionaire, somebody be called as billionaire, somebody be called as a beggar? No reason. These media mafia idiots, without asking this question, they are asking, why should you be called as enlightened? Why should we be called as unenlightened? Fool. Ask the right question. Why somebody is called as billionaire, somebody is called as millionaire, somebody is called as a beggar? Find answer for this question, which is the biggest superstition of the world, which is affecting literally all the human beings on the planet Earth. Whether you accept I am enlightened or don't accept I am enlightened, it's not going to affect millions of people all over the world. Of course, it may inspire or not inspire just few lakh people. But you accepting somebody as millionaire, billionaire, beggar is affecting the whole world. The people who are affected by that superstition is billions. The world's worst superstition is money. instead of questioning that superstition, you go on questioning all other things. When you are feeling gratified with whatever is obtained by chance, means your inner space drops from the world's largest superstition, money. It is not all about money, honey. It is not all about money. Man who drops from the superstition of money. That is what Bhagavan says by the word, he who is gratified with whatever is obtained by chance. I tell you, I give you the practical way. When you are handling money, be very clear, because this is the language world understands. But I am not going to believe this has some power. It can bring a cart I want. It can bring the food I want. It can bring the house I want. But it cannot bring really what I am. I am something more than all my wants. All my wants put together is not me, is not equivalent to me. All my wants put together is only one part of me. I am something more than all my wants. He who is gratified with whatever is obtained by chance means who has dropped out of the superstition of money. Understand? Money is the greatest superstition affecting the whole world. You idiots who want to exploit the people gathered together and created the concept of holding. Understand? Created the concept of money. Then unconsciously every fellow started following it. Whoever has rebelled against, they were all killed in the name of law, controlled in the name of law. All the rebels were destroyed in the name of law. I tell you, in course of time, within 2-3 generations, the whole world is drowned. They have forgotten. They have created this superstition called money. You see the Matrix movie, you can understand how the artificial intelligence which was created by human being takes over human beings. Exactly the same way. Money is one of the component of artificial intelligence created by human beings, taken over finally by the human beings. Second qualification, Bhagavan says, who has gone beyond all dualities. For that you need a strong nervous system. The nervous system which can handle the signal of suffering and joy. See, unfortunately, a small signal of joy is enough to make you imbalance, or a small signal of pain is enough to imbalance you. It's really unfortunate. Human beings grow with such a weak nervous system. Just like a food is compulsory, yoga, which makes a strong nervous system, which makes the nervous system in human beings which can handle high frequency pain or pleasure signals, should be made compulsory. Should be made compulsory. The child sleeping with the father or mother till he or she becomes physically matured should be made compulsory. Actually, if a child sleeps with the father or mother closely till the physical maturity, the nervous system of the child becomes very strong. Because in the night time when you are sleeping in the dream, whatever signal goes through your body does not weaken your nervous system. It doesn't jolt your nervous system. If you are hugging your mother or father and sleeping, that dreams, that signals does not jolt your system. It just disappears. It just does not do any damage to your system. Either you should be in the Gurukul, where you are getting a complete spiritual training, where you are not going to have these nightmares, or sleep with your father or mother till you are physically matured. I know the modern day youth is really suffering. Humanity has never faced this crisis. I have created a one-year program where you can study the spiritual truths.
Nitya Yoga practices to create healthy body, spiritual discourses to develop mental health, meditations that help balance emotions, kriyas to break mental patterns that create suffering, opportunity to express leadership qualities, techniques that improve creative skills. Learn to break all self-limiting barriers to achieve your dreams. Ananda Yogam.
I am providing a platform for you to think, meditate, contemplate, and decide about your future. I am giving you 1 year free food, shelter, clothes, above all the spiritual education and intelligence and intuition to take decision about your future.
Every participant is taught the Vedic truths to live life as it leads in a nurturing ambience, along with inspirational spiritual education that helps bring out the best and achieve one's highest potential.
Youth across the world can come and spend a year in Ananda Yogam to work on you to discover your future, to discover your destiny or recreate your destiny. I'll open my house for you for 1 year completely free. Come and stay here, discover and recreate your destiny.
Interviews at Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Nithyananda Nagar, Bidadi, Bengaluru, 97422 03311.
Child till 14 either should be growing closely to the father or mother. When I say closely, not only psychologically, even physically. Playing in the laps of mother, hugging mother, leaning on mother. I never felt shy. Till the age of 17, I'll always be leaning on my mother in the kitchen. Never felt shy. In the modern day, these kids, they have all kinds of names. Oh, he's mama's child. his mother's baby and all that. I never had any of that. Knowing that I am a sannyasi, I did not want to learn swimming at the age of 5, knowing that I am a sannyasi, but I never left my mother. I had such a strong, beautiful connection. The child should sleep always physically close to mother till you are physically matured. That makes the dream signals not to weaken the nervous system. See, it's all simple science. The dream is nothing but wild tsunami flow of thought currents that should not actually jolt your nervous system and weaken it. If you are not having any spiritual practice and not having mother's physical presence, every nightmare will jolt you, will weaken your nervous system. After that, even a small depression is enough for you to be in tippu once for all. And even small thought is enough for you to be in insecurity. Oh, what will happen if I lose his love? If I lose him? If I lose this in my life? If I lose that in my life? It is just weak nervous system. You imagine and create suffering. See, because you imagined and created suffering, now you want. It may happen any one day. Why should I wait? Let me make that suffering now itself. All right, any one day you are going to die, it is true. Why don't you commit suicide now? If you know any one day you are going to die, that is right, but psychologically go through the death and be ready. Not actually creating the suffering and physically going through the death. If you feel you are going to lose somebody's love, don't physically distance now, but psychologically go through. If I lose, what will happen? Let me go into that experience and come out. Not physically separating. That is not the solution. It's like, you know, you are going to die one day. What is the solution? Not physically dying, but psychologically dying. Having the strong nervous system, which will take you beyond all dualities, which will bring stability in you. Dvandvatitaha. Actually, this is one of the spiritual name I used during my wandering. I used the name Dvandvatitananda because I like this term, this technical term. I've used different names. Many names I have given to my brahmacharis and brahmacharinis was used by me personally. Dvandvatitananda, Mayatitananda, Atmamanishananda. These are all the names I used personally in my own wandering. Vijnanananda, that was another name I used. Vyomatitananda, that was one name. Dvandva means beyond all dualities, stability, who is free from jealousy. That is the third qualification Bhagavan gives. Who is free from jealousy. Jealousy makes you run like a mad fellow. It makes everybody understands you are mad. Jealousy. Till you have till you are free from jealousy, nobody understands you are mad. Once you get jealousy, whole world knows you are mad. Jealousy. Jealousy is another one. Collective superstition. I tell you, all the negativity from which you need to come out is nothing but collective superstitions. That is why I am telling you, crossing Maya is not a big job at all. It is such a simple job. You just need to come out of collective superstitions I will list out all the collective superstitions. 1. Money. Second, country consciousness. There is no such thing as country. Third, jealousy. How will you compare? You are born somewhere, someday, some way by somebody. He is born somewhere, someday, somewhere by somebody. How will you compare? For a decent competition, you need some base. Even between you and your sister, there is so much difference. You and your brothers, there is so much difference. What will you compare? So all comparison is just collective superstition. Waking up from the collective superstition is what I call inner awakening. Inner awakening means waking up from collective superstitiousness. Next qualification, Bhagavan says, who is indifferent to success or the failure. Means who is indifferent to the definition of success or failure by failed society. I tell you, human society is a failure. It is like your father who is a beggar. If he comes and tells you, you are a failure, will you trust him? Will you take his words? He will say, come on, you fellow, you are the biggest failure. You are telling me I am failure. Same way, whoever is calling you are a failure is a big failure. Human society is the greatest failure. Don't you see? One side a fellow is sitting on one whole country wealth. Just his next house, the fellow is not even having food. One side, this fellow, his whole house is decorated with multicolored silk cloths. The other fellow doesn't have a clothes to hide himself. Don't you see? One side, atomic weapons are getting piled to kill people in mass. The other side, people don't have medicine for their headache and stomach pain. Whole humanity is a failure. Human civilization, modern civilization. In 2012, please understand, with a clear understanding, man who has moved out of human civilization, who is looking the human civilization from above, I declare, oh human civilization, you are failure. You are a big failure. The human settlement on the planet Earth is a big failure. Human society on the planet Earth is a big failure. Human civilization on the planet Earth is a big failure. The failed father has no right to say, judge his son, whether he is a failure or success. I tell you, failed humanity has no right to judge whether you are a failure or success. Man who understands failed humanity has no right to judge whether I am a failure or success is success. Understanding the humanity itself is a failure and they have no right to declare, judge your success or failure is success. Look at the whole human civilization. Who wants to live here? I tell you, 99% of the people want enlightenment just to escape from the human civilization. They don't even know what is enlightenment, but they want it because they know they can escape from it, from the human civilization. Only one good thing happened by human civilization is, I got a lot of customers, that's all, who are interested in enlightenment. But human civilization is not supposed to torture people and make them interested in enlightenment. It is supposed to give tremendous understanding to people and lead them to enlightenment. Human civilization, as such, in 2012, I declare as failure. Everything, just human civilization, is failure. Understand, Bhagavan is giving these 4 qualifications. He who is gratified with whatever is obtained by chance, means understanding the money superstition, superstitiousness of money. Second, who has gone beyond all dualities, means having the strong nervous system to hold the pain and pleasure electric signals. Pain, pleasure signals. Not being jolted or shattered by the pain, pleasure signals. Third, who is free from jealousy, means out of the superstition, collective superstition of comparison. Fourth, who is indifferent to success or failure, means understanding the fellows who are judging you as a failure or success themselves are utter failures. All the thieves gathering together declare you are a thief. All the murderers gather together and say you are a murderer. All the rapists gather together and say you are a rapist. When you understand, society who is judging you itself is a failure. You are free from the branding of failure and success. Fourth is free from the idea of failure or success. If you have these 4 qualities, even if you are engaged in performing the actions, you are not bound by it. How to live like that? I'll teach you personally in this Explosion 2012 project. I make this sutra, this verse, as a vision statement for the Explosion 2012 project. In this 2012 project, all volunteers are expected to learn these 4 great truths and drop all the patterns which is not allowing you to experience these 4 great truths.
Such a powerful satsang from Swamiji. How, the Eastern traditions, many of our Hindu practices are called as superstition. But how Swamiji beautifully explained what is a real superstition? Money that is being worshipped by people, everyone around the world. Swamiji says that is the biggest collective superstition that has been done. Such clarity that Swamiji gives every single day, right? In different aspects, Swamiji is giving us the clarity. Today we have Ma Shakti Rupananda. Ma, I want to ask you something. See, as a teenager, as you've grown up living with, Swamiji's teachings, Swamiji's initiations, and of course, growing up literally in the temple, how do you see like the ups and downs that happens to everybody, right? Day to day, you see that whether in your friend's life or in your own life, how are they handling it? How are you handling it? What is that power or strength that Swamiji has given you? Now, listening to this satsang also, what is the powerful click that you got?
Ma, what I got immediately was it's not all about money, honey. um, like I I think like Swamiji was sharing to me, it felt like he pretty much gave the whole understanding of how we are pulled to the Maya matrix and also kept to continue with that life, right? Whether with the money or this or that, we are made to believe that we have to do that and that is the Maya of the life. But he was just saying, like, literally the human civilization itself has become failure because we have created a system, but even that system is, it's instead of making us feel blissful and happy and enjoy every moment of the life, it has become such a torturous system. Like, nobody is happy. The system itself has become like a suffocation and suffering for the whole humanity. Not probably intentionally, but the person first created it. After few generations, now it's like nobody is enjoying it. So, like, the only solution is here, like, we have to live that life positive lifestyle, and that should be compulsory. And of course, what better way to live it than, with the Hindu enlightened lifestyle. Whatever Swamiji is teaching, whether we start the day with the yoga, whether we do the puja in the morning, um, connecting with the higher truths of life through Vakyata Satas or Satsang, like meditating on these powerful cognitions and being around these type of life positive things, automatically our nervous system becomes so strong that we immediately um, experience the joy in the life. And even if so called we experience a down, so many life positive things are, it's almost like an alarm clock, right? I always think, the default alarm clock sound is such a terrible sound. Like, it will be like the most like that, and then you'll wake up to that song and you'll be like, why am I waking up today, kind of feeling, right? But like, these life positive things we do, right, in our Hindu lifestyle, all of them are like a blissful alarm clock, like, we will offer the flower to the deity, and when you offer, they are so like graceful, and the way the flower is, you offer it, you just feel like happy, like, not like a violent one, but just like a graceful, peaceful, non, like ahimsa, right? So, like that, when we have so much of that happening, like alarm clocks happening every day, automatically, how long can you be having a down? Right? The moment you have a down, automatically you go back up. And after some time, that becomes so rooted in you, no matter what down happens, it cannot last long time. It's like, you, even your brain or somewhere in deep in you, you're like, okay, are you done? That kind of thing. So that's kind of what I got as understanding from today, and also what I feel is the powerful cognition Swamiji has given me, or the lifestyle he has given me in the life. So, yes, ma'am.
So nice. Can you share one deepest experience, strongest experience, or most special moment with Swamiji? What is this deepest experience you have?
Um, I'm not able to pick one. I can just say that all the experience put together is like it's like a blissful one, right? All you need is just Swamiji calling your name, or he will just say be blissful, or he will say something like that, and then it's like, that's it, So that's what I can say, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. See, how would have, like, I keep going back to this because it is very important for the youth today, right? How have you envisioned your life to be before meeting Swamiji? And how is your life now? Can you say, like, you would have had ideas about life before meeting Swamiji. This is life, this is what it is, ups, downs, whatever, like good, bad, why is my life like this? You would have some ideas about life. What is your idea about life now? How was it then?
I can say that really before Swamiji, I didn't really have feeling of a vision or purpose in my life. I was kind of, I will say, doing what everybody says it's important. I was also going on that little train, right? Like I already boarded the train and I kind of stopped every stop and I'm like, okay, next stop is this. Let me study really hard for this exam, and if I don't pass this exam, literally my life is over, right? Like there is no purpose, like I'm a failure kind of thing, you know? So like, you know, that kind of ultimatum kind of feeling about all these kind of so-called societal things, right, was what I was feeling it. But I myself didn't like feel like, okay, this is something that really I'm passionate about and this is something I really wanted to do it or something like that. But the moment Swamiji entered in my life, I feel like I have so much of like kind of feeling like this is what I really wanted to do it, and this is how I really wanted to contribute it in my life. Not just I'm going to do what everybody else is doing. In fact, I became so clear, like I don't want to do what everyone is doing. Already too many people are doing that. Let me do something new. Let me do something useful where I feel fulfilled by it and let others feel fulfilled by it. And I think that is the ultimate thing, where if all of us can live like that, or we are taught to live like that, like the whole world will be so blissful, instead of the other way where, you know, we somehow ended up there, we don't even know how we ended up there, and then we are like, oh god, I have to see another day of that, you know. So that's what I can share it, ma.
So nice, ma'am. Okay, now, like, suppose, I mean, see, you have like day-to-day life. What is one teaching of Swamiji that pulls you up every day? Whatever happens in life, you're always up, back up on your feet. What is that cognition that lifts you up?
Mm, I I don't know if it's a cognition, but I can say that whatever Swamiji has said to me, I will kind of remember that, right? So, like for example, one of the things is he gave me my name, which is Nitya Shakti Rupananda, right? Which it's like the meaning is being the embodiment of like blissful energy from the state of completion, right? So like, you know, whenever I'm in an up and down, like not just for me, for anybody who's received a spiritual name, just remembering that name itself is like you remember that Paramashiva in you, right? You remember Swamiji and you remember the Swamiji in you and you're like, oh god, what am I worried about, kind of thing, you know. So I can say that that is one of the most powerful thing for me. I just remind myself of that and then I just break from all the other things. So, yes, ma.
So nice, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining tonight. But I still have one more question, the last question. What is it that you would like to share for the youth that is out there that is so lost in the Maya matrix?
I mean, the only thing I can taste, I mean, I can say is you have to taste Hinduism, you have to taste Swamiji, right? I mean, you don't know what you're missing till you taste it, you know? So you have to taste it and then you'll be like, oh, wow. So, yes, ma.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for joining us today. And I hope you enjoyed the show as well. The powerful cognitions that Swamiji has given. And every single day, we have been listening to Swamiji's satsang during this Chaturmasya, the 45th Chaturmasya of our beloved Swamiji, and listening to powerful cognitions from Swamiji. A gentle reminder every day as Swamiji keeps waking us up from our dreams that we are in. And today, being the July 31st, the current Paramashiva Sena program is over, and we just had the glimpses from this season of Paramashiva Sena. And the next season starts tomorrow, August 1st, happening both in Los Angeles as well as in St. Kitts and Nevis. We welcome each and every one of you. If you have not enjoyed, tasted Paramashiva Sena, don't miss, don't wait, come join us. You can register for this program. This program is provided completely free, including food provided free. You just need to bring yourself there. Come to Paramashiva Sena, happening in both locations. So it's a 30-day program to become an ambassador of Paramashiva. Obviously, only Paramashiva can be his own ambassador. So literally, you will be experiencing the Paramashivatva, the oneness with Paramashiva. So you can register for this program at ecitizen.info/PSS. So thank you all for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the show and we look forward for you to join us tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you. Now let's close with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam